Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Yeah. Hello Libra moons. I love you guys so much. Oh sorry, let me do this. I'm just trying to get it into a I don't want the curtain to show. I just want it to be an all white aesthetic, you know. By the way, this is my art. It's my art. My uncle did that. Shout out to him. And it matches my little cherries. Haha. Anyway, so you guys, welcome back to this channel. My name is Teno Merkaba. And today I'm going to be discussing Libra moon through the houses. So I already made Libra moon, right, that you should check out before you watch this or whatever you want to do. Just check it out, you know, as a Libra moon person. But this video is Libra moon through the 12 astrological houses, gates, areas of life. Period. Okay, so in my previous in my Libra moon video, I mentioned that Libras are very like I just explained the Venus and Saturn exaltation and how they build on relationships and how they appreciate those relationships because of the Venus aspect, and how what makes them feel comfortable is being in relationships, and sometimes they can stay in relationships for too long and those relationships can be very, very toxic, but they'll stay in them. They might cheat, but they might not want to leave those relationships just because they've already built somewhat of a foundation with them, with those relationships, you know. I mentioned, just to check it out and just check out all the things that I mentioned, right? So this video is basically Libra through the houses, right? So let's start with the first house. I just want to sit down. I've been standing for so long. Libra in the first house, right? So Libra doesn't like to be here because Libra, the first house rules Aries, right? And basically the first house is the house of identity, the house of self, your personality, you know. And here's the thing with Libras somewhat can take on the personalities of other people, and this is why I think Libra and Pisces have so much in common, even though they do these things with different objectives or different reasonings of, like, not different, yes, different reasonings, but they go about doing these things differently even though they're doing the same thing, you know. One is doing it in a subconscious, watery, emotional, trying to connect with you, trying to understand you, trying to love you unconditionally, but also putting themselves in an illusion, where the other one is doing it mentally, trying to connect with you mentally, trying to merge with you, because the seventh house, which rules Libra, is about merging, you know. It's like the marriage shit, you know, where it's like, what's like, we are becoming one, you know, where okay, that's really the Scorpio part of it, like becoming, I think, okay, the Scorpio is when we have already become one, but the Libra part of it is like actually that's doing it, like we're doing it now. And then the Scorpio aspect of it is we, like, I'm staring into your eyes because we're doing it right now. Like, I don't know, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like the Libra aspect of merging or of the marriage, because Libra rules partnerships and rules marriages. It's more so kind of like it's me and you know, it's me and you. So, like I said, the Pisces aspect is all of that, and then the Libra aspect is it's me and you, and I have to see myself in you. Like I'm seeing myself through you. Like your action, when you do something, I'm like, whoa, do I do that? You know, that type of, that's what Libras kind of go through. So that's why a lot of Libras will kind of be a people pleaser in a way, because they want other people to view them in a way that is harmonious, right? And in the first house, it kind of sucks because this is the house of identity, right? So in the first house, if you have Libra in the first house, you're either a Libra rising or you have a Virgo rising, but it didn't quite make, like, okay, if you have a Virgo rising, then you have Libra in your second house. But if that degree is too, like, if it didn't, let's say your second house Libra was in 27 degrees, but your Libra moon is in like 2 degrees, then it didn't quite make it, you know. So it falls into your first house. So this is video for you. So you either have a Virgo rising or Libra rising if you have this placement, right? So let's just even start off from like the first house being in the moon, because the moon does not like the first house at all, at all. Because here you're going to take things very personally, right? But now here, like you being a Libra moon person in the first house, it's kind of going to be even more difficult, because not only are you taking things personally, but you start to think and you start to feel, but like your feelings are your thoughts, because whatever you feel, it's going to trickle down in your brain. That's the whole thing with air moon. I have a Gemini moon, so I know this. Like whenever you feel something, you're going to first think about it, and then it can melt into your heart and start feeling some type of way about it. But even when you feel something, you're just going to be thinking about feeling it. It's not really feeling it. And you may feel it, but you're going to think about it while you feel it, if you feel me. If you feel me, you know? So basically, Libra moon person in the first house, it's like you take things personally, but then you start to think that people are like copying you in a way. So you start to think, oh wow, my brother, I think my brother has this. If it's not in the 12th, I really think he has. Yeah, I think it's in the first house. His moon is definitely in the first house. Okay, so as a Libra moon person in the first house, like you may have specific like let's say you have like a catchphrase that you always say. So let's say you're a Libra person that always like you're always saying one particular thing. You know, like how Martin Lawrence in Blue Streak, he was like believe that, like that was his line, believe that, right? So let's say you are a Libra and you have like that catchphrase, whatever it is, you know. Let's say other people start doing that. You're gonna start thinking, haha, you're becoming just like me. You see? It's like, oh, but it's the like, and just like that, just like I explained, Libras is about like the partnership. It's like about relating and shit like that. So you will probably start thinking that everybody's trying to relate their life to you, right? So that's how you take things personally. It's like, oh wow, you guys are here relating everything to me. But here's the thing with Libra moon people in the first house, like it may not even be that, right? Because you may also be around another Libra who probably like, because Libras, I don't know, I don't really know how, like, it's just so distinct. Like I'm just thinking, it's so distinct how the Pisces and the Libra energy is so familiar, just because the Pisces will also start doing things and start looking and start just becoming the person that they're around. Like they literally become their environment. A Libra also does that too, you know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy because I'm probably going to be saying the same things in the Pisces moon video as I'm saying here in the Libra moon video. But I think Pisces moon is more so about, because it's water. Water is always reflecting. But so is Libra. Okay, maybe the difference is that both, like, one of them is emotional and the other isn't so emotional. Like, Libra is just a considerate person. But a Pisces is considerate and emotional. You know? So anyway, yeah. But here's the thing with Libra in the first house, Libra moon in the first house, right? You're already taking everything personally, right? And you're already, it's like, it can be, you might even feel like sometimes you're competing with other people's personalities, because you're like, okay, I'm this type of way, and you're showing me your personality, but your personality isn't really matching with how I perceive myself. So you may see it as someone is somewhat challenging you, you know, because a Libra kind of shares this with Aquarius, where you think you're smarter than everybody, you know, and if somebody maybe doesn't agree with how you view something, you'll be like, oh, you're so stubborn, or oh, you're wrong about something, or you may secretly think they're stupid, you know. That's the thing, you know. Or you may just come up with somehow like just justifications of why you're smarter than everybody, you know. You may jump into like Aquarius vibes, where you just think you're like the smartest person in the entire world and everybody's wrong and you're right, you know, that type of vibe. But for the most part, I think you also like, you're somebody that feels a lot comfortable with, like, you know how to balance other people's personal lives, because you may also attract a lot of chaotic people, or you may have chaotic siblings or chaotic friends, and you understand their personal lives, right? So you come as the person that knows how to balance their lives, you know how to balance people's shit, and you know, like, and you feel appreciated when you know how to do that, you know, because the people in like the personal, because your first house is your personality, how you personally appear. And even speaking about that, personally, you probably dress really nice. You probably, your physical appearance, you probably care about that a lot because it is your moon. So you probably take your personality very seriously, and you feel obligated to make yourself look good. And usually you probably do look good. You probably smell good, look good, very beautiful, you know, nice hair, whatever, you know, that Venusian type of vibe. But I feel like for the most part, you probably also like to talk about your personal issues a lot. And you probably like to talk about, because Libra is very talkative. Oh my god, Libras talk so much. Like, just like Gemini is. Okay, but you probably talk a lot about your person, like things that are personal to you, you know? But you may like to talk about those things with people that you're comfortable with, even though Libra is a social person. So you see, whereas like you probably relate your personal life to other people, you know, in that way, and you like when other people relate their personal lives to you also, because this is how you connect. Oh fuck, this is not trying to bend at all. Yeah, so for the most part, you like to connect your personal life to other people's personal lives, right? But it sucks because Libra hates being in the first house, because once again, Libra doesn't really have an identity. So it could also just be a thing where as you take on other people's personalities, or you have other people take on your personality, you know, depending on the aspects of what's hitting your moon and what's hitting your first house, you know what I'm saying, that type of thing. And then second house, right? So second house is things that you value, your possessions, people, places, and things that you value, people, places, and things that you possess, like friends, a house, money, shit like that, you know? Did I say value? Because second house is things that you value. I'm sorry, I don't think I said that. But yeah, for the most part, as a Libra moon person, if you have your Libra moon in the second house, first of all, this is an exaltation for the moon, because the moon absolutely loves being in the second house, and it absolutely loves being in the fourth house, because it's home in the fourth house and it's exalted in the second house, right? Because of the Taurus Cancer vibe thing, right? So here's the thing, right? So already you probably somebody, you value your emotions, right? But you, because Libra is there, and Libra is a sign of relationships and relating shit. You value yourself, but you value things that you relate to. And this could be people, places, and things. So anything that you value. So let's say you value a relationship. So you'll probably be the type of Libra that won't at all want to leave a relationship. But for the most part, you probably, it's a lot, I think for this placement, it's a lot better to attract someone that's not so toxic as opposed to having it in the first house, where you probably could attract a lot of selfish people, you know. I mean, maybe as a Libra person, you probably just do attract a lot of selfish people because of the Aries, that thing, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I think it's less likely to happen in the second house, just because you are already valuing your own emotion and your own emotional state, and you're very stable within that emotional state, right? And you're very comforting and nurturing to that emotional state because of the second house aspect of it, right? And then when Libra's here, and Libra's being the sign of relationships and all things Venusian, and Venusian we know is a sign of love and appreciation. So you love and appreciate loving and appreciating. See, it's a double emphasis on that. You love and appreciate things that you possess, and you overly love and appreciate this. So I think like maybe this would be the clingy, like the slightly clingy Libra, or the possessive Libra, you know, the this is my man, this is my woman, this is my person, you are mine type of thing. So I feel like this kind of also taps you a little bit into Taurus energy, you know, where you like just anything that you love and appreciate, or anything that brings you comfort or like emotional stability, you cling onto. So you also may be someone, because Libra is cardinal, right? So you may initiate a lot of relationships, yes, and then once you start feeling like this relationship is getting into a point where you guys are like stable, or you guys are like, you're at a point where like you're comfortable with each other, that's when the Libra in the second house person would like kind of hold on very dearly and tightly and possessively to whatever that they love and appreciate, you know. But for the most part, I feel like if your mother has this, or if you're a mother, or if you're a friend, I feel like you're very nurturing, like mentally, you know how to like, you may attract someone that like their life is chaotic and everywhere, and you know the right words to say to like get them to understand another way of looking at the situation, you know, so that they don't deem life as just trying to get at them, that type of thing, you know. So that's the vibe. But I also feel like with Libra in the second house, you value communication. And you feel uncomfortable when someone isn't communicating their needs to you, because you're definitely going to communicate your needs to somebody else. That's for sure. And you may overly do it, and you may get really frustrated when someone's not talking about things that are important to talk about, because you may be around, I don't know, like a Cancer or whatever, and like you may be around somebody that needs or that wants you to like somewhat bring it out of them, out force, you know. And or you may be just around someone that doesn't like to talk so much, like a Scorpio or a Taurus maybe, and you'll get really frustrated because to you as a Libra moon person in the second house, like just Libra period, Libra energy needs to communicate. Like they're an air sign, right? So and because it's in the second house, they're gonna like need you to tell them exactly what's on your mind, you know, just because of that stimulation. Because if a Libra is not getting mentally stimulated, and not to say that they want to speak to you all day long, even though shit, based on my mom, you might want to, but not all the time, because of that balance, you know. Libras need balance. And that's another thing, you appreciate balance. Like you love and you appreciate having a balanced relationship, and you'll probably be the first to like you'll always initiate a way of how to like, I feel like with this placement, you always, like, let's say you're on bad terms with someone or you broke up with someone, but somehow it's on bad terms, you'll be the person to, like, fix the situation or, like, initiate a conversation where you guys, like, come to agreement, like, okay, this is how you feel, this is how I feel. Wow, I mean, I still value you as a person. I value our friendship, so how can we, like, let's talk about how we can fix this or build something that's gonna help contribute to fixing this relationship, you know what I'm saying, that type of thing, you know. But yeah, for the most part, like I was saying, Libras people need like with this in the second house, you appreciate communication. Like you appreciate people that are able to not passively but diplomatically tell you what they need from you without like aggression, you know, not like aggressively like I want you to do that, you know, like that type of thing. You love and appreciate people that are like very considerate too, because you're a considerate person, and you love and appreciate people. You just basically, I feel like this also adds a double emphasis on Venus, because Venus rules the second house and it also rules the seventh house. So I feel like for the most part, it kind of adds a double emphasis in a way that it's like you love and appreciate beauty generally. So most of the things that you will have are very beautiful. You probably live in a very nice house, and even if you don't, you probably have plans of making your house look nice. You're probably very good looking also, you know. You probably I don't know, maybe you probably have a lot of haters because of the second house. Like you automatically exude a self-sufficient energy, so a lot of people probably hate on that. But I feel like it's gonna be really difficult to hate on. Maybe like a lot of Aries type people will hate on that shit, because it'll be like, what the fuck, you know. Or Scorpio type people, they'll be like, no. But for the most part, you're very, like, you exude a very confident energy, you know. And with that Libra being in there, you're gonna, like, your needs are to look good and to be in a very cozy Venusian environment, you know. So for the most part, I feel like with this placement, it's like people really, really, really do love being around you. But for the most part, you can be very possessive. That's the negative part. You can be very possessive. Could also be mentally controlling, you know. Yeah. And then in your third house, if you have your Libra moon in your third house, you are somebody that, so third house is things that you're familiar with, right? Let me break that down. Things that you're familiar with, your friends, your siblings, you know, your neighborhood, basically, you know, words. You're familiar with words, numbers, things that you grew up learning, things that you're familiar with, you know, people, places, faces, shit like that, you know. So if you have Libra in your third house, you're probably a Leo rising. But for the most part, if your moon is in your third house in Libra, you are probably someone that feels so third house is dealing with communication. So you probably talk a lot. Like you communicate your feelings. You are somebody that will talk all day about how you are feeling. This is probably great for script writers or you're probably someone that likes texting. You know, a lot of people, especially in my generation, or maybe even older people, like some people just don't like texting at all because they feel like, oh, I'd rather be with you face to face and have a conversation like that. Not with a Libra moon person in the third house, baby. No, you like all forms of communication. That's what makes you feel comfortable. So I feel like these are probably the Instagram or Twitter kind of people, Facebook kind of people. I don't know, but Twitter for the most part, because right now Twitter is like a booming place, and Instagram too, or even YouTube. You know, you're probably someone that like you need mental stimulation constantly. But I also feel like this is someone that was very smart in school. Like, if you weren't, and if you didn't get like good grades, you probably were the type of person that you had ADHD, or you just felt like school was too slow for you, or like, you know, you could have learned this yourself and you learned. But I feel like in the most part, you learn things very fast here. Like, because the third house rules Gemini, and it's already like Libra moon is already an air sign, right? And if it's in an air house, you probably, I feel like these are rappers, you know, these are like real good rappers because you're very good with words. Oh my god. And already Libra's a charming sign, and Gemini too, but the third house, so you probably, if you're a guy, I would probably hate to date you just because you probably like flirt with everybody, and you probably do it unintentionally also, you know. But for the most part, these are very good script writers. These people need communications, otherwise they're gonna go get some kind of mental stimulation somehow, like somewhere else. These people probably should date other air signs, because if you're around water signs that don't really like talking that much, especially Scorpio, if they don't like talking that much, because a Cancer will talk to you. Cancer will definitely talk to you generally. Pisces, it'll depend on like who they are that day. Word. But for the most part, I'd say be around other air sign. Oh, actually not, because too much air just be around like be around a Leo. They'll like that attention. Or be around another Aries, maybe Aries, but I don't think an Aries has that patience to like listen to you talk about shit that really doesn't have a point all day long. But for the most part, just find someone that is willing to listen to your stories, because I feel like you have a lot of stories. I feel like you even talk in your sleep. These are people that talk in their sleep just because like your mental brain. I feel like these are people who might be psychotic or whatever word that describes the illness that you always have like people talking in your head, you know. So I feel like these are people, you may even like to smoke weed a lot because that just chills down. Or if not, if smoking weed, you see, it could either be that or smoking weed just makes you think even more. Or you get drunk and think even more. I don't know. So just learn how to meditate or something, because that mental energy, bruh, Jesus. You just always, and see, that Libra's always like balancing thoughts and seeing what's evil, what's good, or whatever. You know, like that whole balance of good and evil, yin and yang type of shit. Like if it's in the third house, you're constantly balancing that with your siblings. So also with this placement, it's like you are someone, you may have very talkative friends also, you know. But I feel like for the most part, you are the talkative friend. Like you always a friend that has the tea. You're always dishing out dabas from other people. You're always just like giving information, you know, and a lot of information comes to you too, because I feel like you also know the right amount of words to say to someone for them to get to open up to you. And I like, obviously this makes you very, very smart, you know. But I feel like this you could also be a manipulator with this. I mean, any sign can be a manipulator using whatever energy that they use. But for this part, I feel like you just know the right amount of words to like say to someone so that you can get information, and it'll probably be somewhat indirect, but you know how to get information from people, like you know how to do that. On the negative side of this, like you could also be a gossip. You could be a gossip, like gossiping about people. You lie. My god, you lie. You steal people's ideas. Or you have friends that do this to you. But for the most part, I feel like because you have Libra in your third house, you probably have very harmonic friends, or you have beautiful friends or chilled friends, you know. That could be the positive side. You have chill friends and you guys like chill conversations. You probably do gossip. oh, your gossipy friends, but it's always like on some chilled vibes, you know. Because wherever Libra is at, it's always like on some harmonious, diplomatic shit, you know. And then in your fourth house, if you have Libra moon in your fourth house, okay, for the most part, it's great because your moon is home in the fourth house. But in Libra, you probably feel, okay, fourth house is all about your family, you know, how you, like, how your mom raised you, or just not even your mom, how you were raised as a child, you know, the, how you got nurtured, basically, you know, the domestic things that, like cleaning, cooking, shit like that, you know, home things, like, you know the vibes when you're at home, what you do, there's food, you know, there's TV, okay, but TV is more so fifth house because it's entertainment, but you know the vibes. So if you have your Libra moon in the fourth house, you probably either your mom was, or your dad, or whoever you grew up with was probably like single and they dated a lot of people, like they were always in a relationship, and it was always like one after the other. Like you probably had a parent that didn't, like they weren't stable in their relationships, so they always had people coming in and out, you know, they always had like fleeting relationships, you know, whatever. B is you are probably this type of person where you like bringing people that you date at home, so you feel comfortable dating at home, you know, you don't, maybe not, you may not like being the type to you know, sometimes like we have friends and then we would all meet up at the park or at the mall or something. You probably feel more comfortable when you and your baby, your boo, are at home chilling, kicking it, eating the food that your mom made you, you know, just relax. So I feel like 9 times out of 10 you have a Cancer rising if you have Libra in the fourth house. But you have like a very like you see, it could even be like a thing where we, like, this adds a double emphasis of you feeling very comfortable in relationships. So what makes you feel comfortable is dating, you know, or having friends over, having one friend over, or having sleepovers, especially at your house. Like you probably someone that really likes sleepovers because you know, like, because you know in sleepovers you're always telling each other secrets, and like you're always relating your life and like telling each other who you like and who you don't like and shit like that. You know, you're always like you're getting to relate your life to someone else's life. And with Libra there, like, this is what makes you feel comfortable because of that fourth house and it being in the moon, you know? So you feel extra comfortable with having these things, you know? So you're probably someone that, like, I feel like the friends that you have probably really, really like you. They really, really like you. But for the most part, you also will retreat at home. I feel like this makes the Libra a lot more shy and quiet, you know? Like out in the public you're very reserved, depending on your sun sign, obviously, and the house your sun sign is at, but you're probably very shy, reserved type of person, you know. You're very like, I only say things to people I feel comfortable with, because other than that I'm peeping game, I'm analyzing who's trustworthy, who's not trustworthy, that type of thing, you know. And then also, like, with Libra in your fourth house, I feel like your house may be very beautiful. I feel like, you know, even if you live alone or even if you live with your parents, like, your house is probably very beautiful. Or it could also be a thing of your mom always has guests over. Like, all the time. There's always people around. There's just, like, you never, like, the only space that you have is probably your room. Or it could also be, like, your siblings are, but not so much, because that would mean you have your Gemini in the fourth house. But for the most part, yeah, your mom might always have guests over, and your mom might be someone that's very social and she's very talkative and she's always inviting people over to your house, and she's always like the one orchestrating the conversations. There's always like some kind of gathering at your house, that type of thing, you know. And you may like that, you may not like that, you know, depending on whatever. But for the most part, there's always people in your house that somehow you relate to. You know what I'm saying? You know, whether it's and that example that I just used, it doesn't have to be just your mother. It could be your father. It could be your siblings. You may have siblings that are always having friends over. You may have your grandmother, and they're always playing bingo, or they're always having a society at your house. You know, there's always something going on at your house. Like, always, and it's also dealing with money, because Libras are also very much dealing with cash. You know, so you may have like a very business-like kind of home. Because once again, Libra is exalted in Saturn, so yeah, it could be that. And then if you have Libra in your fifth house, you are probably a Gemini rising. So once again, see, with this particular placement, you probably someone that enjoys communicating. Like, you really fucking love to talk, and this, you could be a public speaker with this shit, dude. Like, you feel comfortable talking. Like, if you're not talking, you kind of feel like, wow. And you probably have so much mental, but here's the thing, 'cause fifth house makes your I have my moon in the fifth house, right? So it just animates your feelings, right? So you probably have expressive feelings, but having your moon sign in an air sign in the fifth house, it kind of like it animates your words, and your brain, and what makes you feel comfortable. So you also may be you may be a Libra moon person in the fifth house that likes. You like cartoons, Rick and Morty. I remember I fucking love Rick and Morty. I'm a Gemini moon though, but I have a Libra Venus and Libra fucking Mercury, You just fucking love animation. You love you may like to fuck a lot, because Libras do think about sex quite a lot. Libra placements generally, you just think about sex a lot. But if it's in the fifth house, then I feel like this adds a double emphasis on it. You just think about sex all the time. You probably love sex, but just careful. Just be careful when you use condoms and shit, so you don't get pregnant if that's not what you want in your life. Um, yeah. Be very careful of overindulging, because there's the thing, because it's Venus and then also the fifth house, and the fifth house is about how you have fun. Yeah, I'm coming. So yeah, Libra is the fifth house is how you enjoy yourself and think. Oh, sorry about that, my dad's telling me to come wash my shit. Oh, he's so loud. He's like a Leo. He has a Leo stellium. He has a fire trine. He has a fire trine. He has Leo and Aries and Sagittarius. And he's a Virgo sign, Taurus moon, Libra, Mercury, Leo rising. So it's just very fiery. Anyway, sorry, he left it. So yeah, with that in the fifth house, so your fifth house is already how you express yourself, how you have fun and enjoy yourself, your entertainment, how you like to be entertained, how you entertain, and things that you are entertained by, right? So if it's already and Venus is here, right? So you are entertained by Venusian type things, right? Things that you relate to. So you get you enjoy relating to things that are entertaining and fun and enjoying, and romance. So you may be a Libra that dates a lot. You may be a Libra that you live for relationships, so girl, chill with that. But you also feel really comfortable with relationships, because that's what you entertain by that. You're entertained by relating to anything. So you may be someone that also doesn't you may be the Libra that literally can't do anything alone, because you get Libras that do feel like, okay, I need some time out now. I've been spending all my years with these people and days with these people or whatever, and I just need some time out for myself. I need to recollect and regroup, you know what I'm saying? But with this in the fifth house, child, what makes you feel comfortable is being entertained by this. So you may be someone that always likes to party, or if you're dating someone, you probably like to do whatever they like to do, and also kind of put yourself on the back burner and just put yourself lost, that type of thing. But it could also be a thing where you're because see, Libra is all about relating and shit, so you may and because it's in the fifth house, you may overly do that shit. You might put your partner on a pedestal, and then you may be disappointed so many times, and you realize that you were putting yourself in an illusion, that type of thing. But yeah, for the most part, just Libra moon people in the fifth house, these are very funny people. I feel like you're very funny with this, and even if you're not funny, you're probably funny to yourself, because depending on your sun sign, you may be very reserved, but for the most part, internally, you're very funny, you're very animated, you're like a child, basically. You're very childlike, especially males. Men with this placement are very, very funny, regardless of their sun sign. But also, it really does depend. It really, really does depend. Yeah, but for the most part, very funny people, very caring people. Yeah. And then if you have your Libra moon in the sixth house, so the sixth house is how you your health, you know, your schedules, how you plan. It's the Virgo house, so you know, like being discriminating between what's what. This isn't how we should do it. This is how we should do it. Am I healthy? Have I jogged in 6 months? Am I eating right? What am I doing tomorrow? How am I gonna get money? What is my job? That is the sixth house, you know. So if you have Libra in the sixth house in your moon, what makes you feel comfortable is working. You probably love working, and you love and you relate. Like you probably someone that want to date someone that you met at work. And it could be any job that you do, because you could be like whatever it is that you do. You don't have to have like a whole 9 to 5 job. You could be a photographer, or you know, at school, or okay, there's about to be a guy that passes it. You could be someone that's yeah, you may be someone that's very. Oh, sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, but you may be someone that, like, you know what? If you're at school, at university, whatever it is that you do on a day-to-day basis, because that's the sixth house. Like you probably would be. That's how you probably meet your partner, or that's how you feel. That's how you'd meet someone that you would probably date, is through doing like your day-to-day kind of things, you know what I'm saying? And even if it's not, you probably feel a lot more balanced when you are working, and you probably feel out of balance when you're not working, because to you it'll be like, oh my god, I spent so much time not doing anything, and in that time I could have been doing so much. So I feel like even with this, because see, the sixth house is a physical house, right? So if you're not working, you may even start feeling physically sick, you know, and then that puts you out of balance. And when Libras are out of balance and they start getting chaotic, and then you start like projecting that onto other people, you know, they start projecting that chaotic energy onto other people. So then you probably feel like, oh my god. And when you start feeling that way, you probably start thinking, oh my god, it's my health. And it is your health, because if you feel uncomfortable, it's going to translate into your health. So you're probably going to get like ulcers or tummy bugs, and then you're going to need to work out and jog and shit like that. But yeah, for the most part, you feel comfortable working out. You're going to feel comfortable exercising and keeping your body in shape. And to your right, because as a Libra, you're probably already feeling like you need to be on your motherfucking P's and Q's and be, you know, just the best person you can be. And if the sixth house is here, it kind of adds a double emphasis to that, because you're already feeling like, oh my god, like I need to be on my P's and Q's, you know. And if you're not, it's gonna make you sick. It's gonna make you fucking sick. And you also don't like other people that aren't in their P's and Q's. But I feel like because Libra is very passive, you know, like if you're not around people that are like-minded as you are, or like structured orientated as you are, you're gonna kind of subtly put in their brains that they should probably get a job, they should probably start making money, they should probably do this, they should probably do that, da da da. But I also feel like this makes you a very good manager or boss, because you know what you want. You know what I'm saying? You know what you want. This is not like a typical kind of Libra where you're indecisive, even though you can be indecisive about whether you want to be vegan or vegetarian or pescatarian or whatever-tarian, or you may be indecisive about which route you want to run, or if you want to be on the treadmill today, or if you want to do these thingies today, you know. You may be indecisive about those sorts of things, but it'll always be in the area of health and routines and your job. So you also may be indecisive about the kind of job you want, you know, but it'll frustrate you because you'll be like, oh my god, I need a fucking job, you know, that type of thing. And then if you have your Libra moon in the 7th house, which adds a double emphasis on the Libra energy, you are someone that you need to relate to people. You probably like the archetypical example of what a Libra is. Like, you are indecisive as fuck. I'm coming! I'm busy! You're probably so indecisive. I feel like these are the type of people that can be serial daters. Like, you break up with this person and already you are texting someone to date, like 10 minutes after that. Like, you're always in a relationship because this is what makes you feel comfortable, you know. You're always in and even if you're not dating someone, let's say you decide, no, I'm gonna take some time for myself, you're already like the type of person that's like, like in the back of your mind, you already know, like, oh damn, it would be nice to cuddle up with my boo. Would be really nice to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. It would be nice to be in a relationship. That's the type of thing, because that's what makes you feel comfortable, is being in relationships. You know, like you like to have, you like to be somewhat always associated with someone. You know, always be relating to someone. You know, so you may be, this makes you very romantic, yes, but it can also make you like crazy for love. Jesus, you may do a whole lot for love, you know. But it also makes you very, very, very smart, because I feel like with this, it's not so much like the third house where you're like very talkative, but you are very talkative, but in a way of trying to like relate and be harmonious to other people. Whereas the third house, Libra moon in the third house would be like, I'm just talking because I have all these words to say out loud, because I need to say something, otherwise I'm gonna explode. With the seventh house here, with your Libra moon being in the seventh house, it's more so like I need to relate to you. Like I feel like these are the type of people that do share that Pisces energy, where it's like, I am nothing if I'm not relating my life to somebody else, or if I'm not getting to know myself to somebody else. Because this is how Libra people get to know themselves, is through like Libra people with the seventh house here, they get to understand themselves through other people's actions. So if a Libra moon person does something and that partner they with doesn't like it, a Libra moon is analyzing how they're acting in those situations, and how they're contributing to other people's feelings, and how they're contributing to other people's well-being, or just being generally. You know what I'm saying? This is how Libra moon people in the seventh house are. You know, they're just like casually analyzing who they are when they're around people. So yeah, that's Libra moon in the seventh house. And then if you have your Libra moon in the eighth house, so the eighth house is your secrets, your desires, inheritance, transformation, death, rebirth, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You already know what the eighth house is about, you know. So here, I feel like with here, you probably have a lot of secrets at home, because like the moon does not like to be in the eighth house. So there's probably a lot of like, okay, on one end, your mom was probably either a Taurus, a Pisces, or a Libra herself, you know, or she could have been a Capricorn. But there were a lot of secrets in your home. There were so many secrets. Like, as you grew up, you started realizing that the illusion that you were growing up under, or the illusion that your parents put you under, was a complete lie. And whenever you started finding out that there's so much more to what was going on at home, it transformed you. And then you now play the part, or you play the role of trying to create balance in your home, you know. Or I don't know, maybe your mom was the one who was trying to create that balance, but for the most part, you probably the person that creates that balance in your home. You know, you're constantly trying to, like, it may be very like, okay, that was one example, but at home, your home may be very, very chaotic, you know, or there may be a lot of intense people in your home, or somewhat very secretive, manipulative people at home. And on one part, because Libra's very smart, you know how to, like, you know exactly when someone is trying to, like, pull a doozy on you, you know? So you either detach yourself away from that, or you can play the role of trying to play someone at their own game. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing where you see, okay, you're trying to manipulate me. All right, okay, let's see how far you wanna go, or let's see the kind of thug you are, or let's just see what you're gonna do. And then because Libra, like I said, Libra's very smart, and they just know. Libras just be knowing shit, you know. So you can kind of scope someone's actions and their words, and then somewhat play them at their own game. Or you could be this person. You could be a very manipulative person, because Libra can be very manipulative, and you can be a user with this one. But Libras can be big users. Because of the Saturn thing, you know, like I put more emphasis with this one because of the eighth house and trying. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention that you're probably going to inherit a lot of, like, when your mom dies, you're probably going to inherit a lot of shit from her, you know, because eighth house is about inheritance. But as I was saying, I'm not even high, but I feel so stoned. I feel high as fuck. But yeah, with this, like, you can be a manipulator, right? And you could be the user, where You know, because Libra is a social sign, you know how to dress, what to say, how to smile, how to present yourself, but with the intention of getting somewhere, or like getting yourself somewhere. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. So you also may be someone, you probably only fuck people, date people, just because you know you're gonna get cash out of it. Just because you know you're gonna get something out of it to get you from point A to motherfucking point B. That's the thing with Libra energy in the eighth house, so everything that you do has some kind of ulterior motive behind it. I couldn't say that word. That was so difficult. But yeah, you always have some kind of ulterior motive behind your actions, and it's like, I feel like you get away with it a lot more than someone who would have their sun in the eighth house, because once again the sun illuminates, so people will see that someone is trying to manipulate them. But in the moon, see, people don't see this, so people may, and depending on whatever your sun sign is, it can be whatever, people won't really see that you are manipulative. But for the most part, right, you know when someone is manipulating you, and you know when to get yourself out of that situation, because you'll probably ghost them, and get yourself. And also, for the most part, I feel like with this, you, like, at home, you probably have your own secluded area, like you have an outside room or upstairs, and people never go there. Like, they only go there to ask you what you want to eat, or just subtle things like that. But they know that, okay, that's her room, that's her place, we're not gonna interrupt her, I'm coming! I'm making a video! Damn. God damn, Virgo, chill. Okay, but yeah, what else is it? He's even like taking me off track now. Oh yeah, positive sides of having this in your eighth house. Positive sides is that, like, you can also bring balance to other people's chaotic life, but you may not share how you feel about things, which is a good thing, because sometimes people can like add on their own bad influences in how you feel, and then change how you feel somehow, but you be knowing like when someone is off, when someone is trying to like put a doozy on you, that type of thing. And then yeah, if you have your Libra moon in the ninth house, you're somebody that feels comfortable when you are experiencing. So I feel like this makes you a bit more like, not actually, I want to say a bit more chaotic. You're maybe a bit more of a chaotic Libra with this placement, kind of like the third house, but not so much mental chaos. Like with this, like, okay, the ninth house is wisdom, knowledge, and like higher education, and like experiencing and overseas traveling, but traveling of all sorts, like mind travel and like physical travel, and like wisdom in terms of like, like epiphanies and shit like that, that's ninth house shit, high education, just shit like that. Ninth, you already know what ninth house is. So with Libra here, you love and appreciate, and you feel comfortable with these kind of things, so you may be somebody that loves to travel a lot, or you may have parents that traveled a lot, and then you, as a little boy, a little girl, a little child, you just love and appreciate these things because you made so many new friends in Berlin and Belgium and Germany and America and LA and South Africa and Durban and whatever. You just have so many friends all over. You've networked so many times, and in those experience, like in those travels, you like learn so much about people. So then you start like adapting, or you start taking bits of the things that you like from each individual at each place that you met, and then you start forming that into your own like personality, or into your own emotional well-being, so that type of thing. And even if you don't really travel like that, you probably may be very religious, or very spiritual, but if you are religious, you probably value going to church a lot, and you're probably gonna meet your husband or wife or whoever there, your partner there, start dating from church, that type of thing, and you feel comfortable with this. Or if it's not like that, you just may love and appreciate just being in a religion. And I forgot to mention, ninth house does rule religion and like spirituality and shit like that, just anything that is a form of getting to understand the higher being, or the God, or Allah, or whatever, like that's a ninth house shit, right? So with that, you probably feel very much connected to the higher being, like to the higher being. You know, you just like you. I feel like you also may be someone that doesn't really take negative experiences as negative experiences, because you always kind of see like, oh, I went through that, but now I know how to behave in these situations, or I have the wisdom on how to like tackle a situation like that when it does arise, or I know the advice to give somebody if they come to me and they like if they've gone through something that I've gone through, you know, shit like that. So that's the really cool part about having it in your ninth house. But on the negative side, you also maybe like you may overindulge in spirituality, or you may overindulge in spending all your money on traveling. You know, you may just be a reckless spender, or you just buy a whole, like you spend money on so many crystals, on so many books. You may spend money on like music, or just anything that makes you feel like you're in a godly state. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Yeah. And then if you have oh yeah, also I feel like with this you could be a really good teacher. If you have your fucking thingy Libra moon in the ninth house, you can be a very good teacher, you know. He's just a very good teacher. This kind of puts you in Sagittarius energies. And then anyway, if it's in your 10th house, right? So the 10th house does not like to be in the moon, and the moon does not like being in the 10th house. But the 10th house is basically your reputation, what you're known for, your status. It's how you gain stability, but in terms of money, not like the 4th house where it's like we need stability because we need to feel comfortable and nurtured. It's about I need stability because I've worked my ass off. I've had sleepless nights, and I deserve this paycheck. I deserve to be known like this, you know. And if you have Libra here, 9 times out of 10, you probably get Capricorn rising. So already you're someone that like you take yourself very seriously. I feel with this, you probably take yourself very seriously. You probably be someone that is all work. You are a user. I feel like with this you are definitely a user, and you use your charm, you use your diplomacy to get cash. Like you probably the type of Libra that you like to talk about things that are getting you somewhere in life. You're not like an airhead, like yes, an airhead, but you use your airy nature to like think of ways to get you in a position that's gonna help benefit you in a way that's like contributing to your reputation and just money generally. You're probably very mind orientated, you know. But you also are very much like you feel comfortable when people look at you in a way as someone that's always you look good, but you always like you about your business, you know. So people, you network with people, and you know what to say so that people like hire you, or you probably like the lady that like takes money at a like you're the one that takes the tickets from people at the doors, you know. And then you slowly build your reputation like that, so people eventually know you, and then like other people book you to do that, or you know, you just should like that. It doesn't have to be that exactly, but like even if you make videos on YouTube, whatever, you know, like all that you do like for your emotional well-being is to have a reputation, and is to be seen in a way that is like as like to be seen as somebody that has something to show, you know what I'm saying, like that type of thing, you know. Yeah, but I feel like with this it can make you a fake person, like because you're just like you all work, you are all work, you know. Oh, this is something that you may have experienced growing up, you know. You may have had a mother that didn't really nurture you in a way, like in terms of like your feelings, because I feel like already here there's no water, you know. Air, it's air, and then it's the 10th house. So you may have had you may have grown up without a mother, or like you may have lost your parents or something, but you may have gotten adopted, or and then your foster parents may have been people that like very business orientated, or it may have been a situation where your parents probably didn't nurture you, like they always taught you to work to get money, and money is your sense of value, and that's how you should be comfortable. So then you grew up thinking that, oh, I need cash so I could like feel good about myself. you know, that type of thing, where it wasn't so much like a nurturing thing. It may have just been like a thing where they taught you how to get the bag, and that's that. So they were like, oh, work. You may have had like real hard, strict parents also, you know, and then you were like, fuck this, I hate you. And then you started like your own business because you couldn't stand your parents, and you couldn't stand, you know, you just couldn't stand how they lived, you know. But for the most part, you probably grew up in a very cute house, very nice house, but it wasn't much love because people, they probably also traveled a lot, you know, for work shit. And if it wasn't about money, they weren't interested. ah, 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 ah. Oh, that sucks. That fucking sucks. And then if you have your moon in the 11th house in Libra, you are somebody that also talks a lot, right? But you probably like a social media influencer. I feel like this is totally social media influencer vibes, because 11th house rules basically social media. It rules like the mass associations, you know. It rules basically who you're associated with, people, places, and I don't know. Does this word? This is fine. It basically rules like people, places, and things that you're associated with. So you could also be guilty by association, you know. So you may be the type of person, the Libra, that's like you always in like you probably follow like a lot of like collective social media accounts. Or if you're on Twitter, you're probably always the person that's contributing to, like, let's say like celebrities are having beef, and you are like the Libra that's always like putting in your 2 cents, you know, that type of thing. Like, so you feel comfortable. This is also somebody that like probably likes being on their phone a lot. Like, you like texting a lot, you like phoning people a lot, you probably like socializing. These are like social butterflies, you know. But for the most part, because you're associated, like because you're comfortable in associations, you may, on the positive side, you may eventually find a group of people that match your energy, or a group of people that can get you from point A to point B. This is not so much a user energy, even though, like I said, Libra people can be very much users, you know, and they'll justify being like using you. They'll justify it. Wow. So it could be that, but it could also be a thing of like, you eventually you'll find yourself associated with a group of people that match your energy vibrations, because this is the house of Aquarius. So I also feel like this makes you a weirdo, but you can relate your weirdness to people, and you also like relating to people that kind of think outside of the box, you know. You may feel uncomfortable with people that don't share the similar values and the similar thought patterns that you have, because also with this, you may start thinking that you think thoughts that other people don't think. So you, therefore, because you think those thoughts, you're smarter than everybody. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. And then but yeah, I also feel like you may, if you are a reserved person, you're probably someone that like you create a fake account just to like go say your opinion, speak your opinion, that type of thing, you know. But anyway, yeah, if it's in the 12th house, if you have your Libra moon in the 12th house, so the 12th house is your subconscious, your dreams, and you fall asleep and you go to dream. Basically also rules sleeping. And if you have Libra here, you're probably a Scorpio rising, right? So subconsciously, darling, you are somebody that, like, you're very, like, subconsciously, you're actually very balanced. You're a very balanced person, and especially if you have your Scorpio rising, you're a very balanced person, and you know how to balance yourself subconsciously. Even though subconsciously you can be very chaotic, eventually you do learn how to be balanced and how to balance yourself and how to balance your own energy. So your dreams may be very cute dreams. You may dream about having a relationship. You may dream about you may dream about like dating someone. You may subconsciously be a big romantic. You may subconsciously be someone that is indecisive, you know, probably a very indecisive person subconsciously. But yeah, your dreams are probably very Venusian too, you know, because already the 12th house is exalted in Venus, and because Venus is here, but it's the masculine side of Venus. I think also subconsciously you're very bossy, Because Libra is very bossy, but just very subtle, you know, and they're very beautiful. So it's just like, oh, it's fine, Libra. Boss me around. It's fine. It's fine. You know? So yeah, subconsciously you might be very, very bossy, very controlling. Also, because Libra, the negative side of this could be is that you are a user, so subconsciously you could be a user, and then your dreams may be very like intuitive, yes, because Libras can be very intuitive just based on facial expressions, but you can also be very intuitive and know when someone, like when someone says something but they actually mean another thing, you know, that type of thing. But yeah, that's the most part for the Libra in the houses. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you like the subscribe, share, and do all those cute things. Next video is going to be Scorpio moon and Scorpio in the houses, and I'm going to do that tomorrow, because right now it's a Virgo moon, but I just wanted to do it now just because if I do it tomorrow I probably might not have done it tomorrow, but hopefully tomorrow I'll do the Scorpio moon. And yeah, that's me. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.